congratulations. It was great walking around the table to meet your fabulous family. You're a lucky man. I can thank everybody in this room, but instead, let's recognize them. So if we please turn up the lights. Okay, I would like the people to stand that have been volunteers at CommNexus, volunteers, have been board members, have been mentors, sponsors, committee members. Everyone stand that's had those roles at CommNexus. All stand. Everyone, come on. Everyone keep standing, keep standing. Would the entrepreneurs in this room stand that have been a part of the EvoNexus experience? Stand. Thank you. So as you can see, I'm a total fraud. They do all the work. I'd also like to have a group, recognize a group that is truly behind the scenes. They are the glue that holds the organization together while I'm got my head in the clouds, as Chip has indicated. And seeing things at 100,000 feet and missing a lot of the detail along the way. And I'd like to recognize my outstanding staff, because without them, these programs, all the things we do for entrepreneurs would not occur. With my CommNexus staff, please stand up. Okay, and I have family here tonight. Came in for this event. I have my dear sister, Carrie. She's a practicing attorney in Arizona. Proud mother of 8 kids. 8 kids. And all doing great in school, not one in jail. And we have her oldest here tonight, Teddy, my nephew. And Teddy's over there with my staff having a really rough night. Teddy's a very, very early employee at Facebook. Quick story about Teddy. He was working at a startup, in one of my many startups, and went back up to Stanford for the next semester at Stanford. Calls me up one day and says, "Hey, Uncle Rory, I'm going to join a startup up here. Is that okay?" I said, "Yeah, hey, that's a great idea." He said, "A company called Facebook." And I said, "You know, Teddy, I think MySpace already won that war." True story. He didn't listen to me. And the rest is history. But Chip mentioned passion, and that's something that my wife, Georgia, has always supported me in this passion. She's always been there. Now I'm addressing Tony's wife. Imagine if Tony had this kind of side interest, right? And so Georgia not only tolerates my hobbies, but she's been with me through many, many startups. She was employee number 4 at Peregrine Semiconductor. She was employee number 4 at Silicon Wave. We weren't married back then, but she's been with me through many, many startups, and she's a world-class high-tech controller, which is good because I have no idea what our finances are doing at the very moment. She does. I also have in the room my co-founder of Peregrine Semiconductor, a guy that I grew up with in Arizona. We went to high school, swam together, competed. We were falconers together, thus the name Peregrine Semiconductor, Falcon. So we were falconers together, and We started Peregrine along with Mark Berger in 1990, an overnight success, as I said. Where's Ron Reedy? Oh, he's here. Here he is. And that's what got me to San Diego, because I was living happily in Phoenix, playing with my buddy Chet Beck, making a lot of money, and Ron said, hey, come on over to San Diego. I know where you can park some of that money. So we started Peregrine, and I know there's a lot of money in high tech because I think I put it there. Okay, I'm going to conclude. Passion. Passion requires total commitment, utter disregard for the consequences of failure. Belief that we can accomplish anything we set our minds to if we have support. Passion has costs. The price of living your dream is often so expensive. But painful as it may be, it's worth it. So, passion yields joy, sense of accomplishment, and establishes your identity, and your identity is everything. A very dear friend of mine at my table here, a surgeon, said, you know, identity, I never heard it put this way, but he says when surgeons, people at the top of their career, are thinking about retiring, they lose their identity. It's them. It's being doing it every day, and you've got someone's life in your hands. And that's the identity that they have, that they associate with. The Admiral, when he flew in Vietnam, flew in the first Gulf War, commanded thousands and thousands of sailors and aviators, knows what that is, and total commitment, absolute commitment. The high-tech world is no different. Very dangerous place. I was at a speech years ago from the Valley, and Scott McNeil, the co-founder of Sun Microsystems, was in a conference like this, and entrepreneurs in the audience, and he asked him questions, and so the Q&A came along, and a young man stood up and he said, Scott, I'm going to start a company, my first company. What's the first thing you recommend? He said, son, are you married? And the engineer said, no. He said, stay that way. Sacrifice, that's what it is. You know, marriages are lost, businesses go out of business, there's utter failure. I've started a lot of companies, and honestly, most of them have failed. Absolute holes in the ground of capital. And some of them made it. So why am I here? What am I doing? Why is CommNexus, EvoNexus so important to me? It's because I'm always going to be a startup person. And what's better than having one startup? Having 26 startups. And we have. We've invented over 33 companies into our incubator, graduated 7, and really, I think, re-energized San Diego. And then downtown, the mayor, Jerry, over the years said, you know, Rory, you've got to bring in the incubator downtown San Diego. I said, well, we haven't really proven out the model in UTC yet. Give me some time here. And so about 6 months later, somebody more powerful than our mayor called the Irvine Company. Like owned San Diego. And they said, we'd like you to also consider starting an incubator downtown. And I said, I'm listening. And that was done to try to replicate what happened in San Francisco. And I think some of you in the room may remember South of Market in the 80s when it was just plain dangerous to go down there. And now South of San Francisco is a huge tech sector. It's got more software companies in San Francisco than all of Silicon Valley. And it's reinvented the downtown area. You've got Craigslist, Sting, you've got Twitter. All these great companies started in downtown San Francisco. And so we got to thinking, the board at CommNexus, we thought, well, let's try this downtown, and maybe downtown San Diego can in some way replicate that. So the Irvine company provided us yet another building. They've gutted out an entire floor at 101 Broadway. Please come by. It's your incubator, like you said. It's a free pro bono incubator. All of you help and pay for it. And they gutted out a floor and put over $1 million of TIs. It looks like an Apple store. It's so beautiful. And we've got software companies all over the floor working away. And I think we will have our next Twitter, our next Facebook in downtown San Diego. They love living down there. So where I was kind of like the Serrano Valley guy, I didn't want to go downtown unless I had to. I love downtown. So I'm going to conclude with one thing, and that's a quote. I'm not going to tell you who the author is. It's not somebody that's all that eloquent, but trust me, he's really famous. It's hard to tell with these internet startups if they're really interested in building companies or if they're just interested in the money. I can tell you, though, if they don't really want to build a company, they won't look into it. That's because it's so hard that if you don't have passion, you'll give up. Steve Jobs, founder of Apple. Thank you, everybody, tonight for being here, for supporting not only UCP, for supporting Tony and all that he's doing downtown, and supporting all the great entrepreneurs in this fine city. Good night.
Thank you to the committee. Thanks to all our sponsors, but especially thanks to all of you who made this night very special. Good night, everyone.